They told you to trust. They preached the gospel of openness, of vulnerability, of believing the best in everyone. They said honesty was always rewarded and sincerity would pave your path to success. They lied. They lied to keep you weak, to keep you predictable, to keep you ripe for exploitation. Because the brutal truth, the unforgiving reality that Machiavelli understood centuries ago is this: most people, perhaps even everyone, operates with a hidden agenda. An unspoken motive that drives their words, their actions, their very presence in your life. This isn't cynicism. This is survival. This isn't paranoia. This is foresight. Today we delve into the dark art of reading people, a Machiavellian guide to spotting those hidden agendas before they become the blades at your back. You will learn to see beyond the polished smiles, the carefully constructed narratives, and the convenient friendships. You will learn to decode the silent language of intent, to unmask every deceiver and to turn their hidden game into your open advantage. Welcome to the psychological battlefield. Welcome to the path of becoming untouchable. For too long you have been conditioned to see the world through rose-tinted glasses, to extend grace where none is deserved, to assume innocence where cunning resides. Society celebrates the nice guy, the one who believes everyone is inherently good. But what does Machiavelli teach us about this goodness? He teaches us that appearance is everything, and reality is often a cruel deception. Why do people hide their agendas? Because their true motives are often self-serving, sometimes predatory. They want power, money, influence, information, emotional gratification, or simply to avoid accountability. To achieve this, they must present a facade, a mask of cooperation, friendship, loyalty. Your greatest weakness is assuming that others operate with the same moral compass as you. If you are honest, you project honesty onto others. If you are trustworthy, you expect trustworthiness in return. This projection is a dangerous delusion, a vulnerability that manipulators will exploit without hesitation. Understand this fundamental principle. Every interaction is a negotiation. Every conversation, every favor, every shared meal. Even if it's unconscious, there's an exchange, a desired outcome. What do they want from you? What do they stand to gain? If you cannot answer this question, you are not engaging. You are being played. The nice guy allows himself to be played because he fears confrontation. He fears seeing the ugly truth, and he fears being alone. But isolation is preferable to exploitation. Stop believing what people tell you they are. Start observing what they relentlessly pursue. Their true self is revealed not in their declared virtues, but in their quiet, consistent, self-interested actions. Words are cheap. Words are weapons. But the body, the eyes, the subtle shifts in posture, these are far harder to control, far harder to falsify for extended periods. Your first line of defense in reading people is to become a master observer of nonverbal cues. This requires emotional detachment. You cannot be swept up in their charm, their flattery, or their feigned distress. You must become a cold, calculating sensor. Start with the eyes. Are they making consistent eye contact, or is it evasive, darting? Too much eye contact can be as much a tell as little. A manipulator might hold your gaze too long, trying to dominate or project an artificial sincerity. Watch for micro-expressions, fleeting, involuntary facial expressions that flash for a fraction of a second, revealing true emotion before the conscious mind can suppress it. A flicker of anger, contempt, fear, or joy that contradicts their spoken words. These are the cracks in their facade. Observe their hands. Are they open, relaxed, or clenched, hidden, fidgeting? Clenched fists, folded arms, hands stuffed in pockets often signal defensiveness, discomfort, or an attempt to conceal. Notice their posture. Are they leaning in, genuinely engaged, or are they pulling away, creating distance? Is their body oriented towards you, or towards an exit, towards something else. When someone is genuinely aligned with you, their body will often mirror yours, subtly, unconsciously. A lack of mirroring or an exaggerated, forced mirroring can be a red flag. The voice, too, carries weight. Is their tone consistent with their message? Does it waver, rise in pitch, or drop unexpectedly when discussing certain topics? A sudden change in vocal cadence, a clearing of the throat, or an uncharacteristic stutter can indicate discomfort or deception. Pay attention to their breathing. Is it shallow, rapid, or calm? Under stress, the breath becomes a tell. Master these observations and you begin to strip away the layers of pretense, seeing the true state of their internal landscape. Actions speak louder than words. It's an ancient adage, yet how many fall prey to persuasive rhetoric while ignoring a long history of contradictory behavior? This is perhaps the brutal truth you must internalize. People will always show you who they are if you are willing to look. Their words are a performance. Their actions are the script they truly live by. When someone makes a grand promise, yet consistently fails to deliver on smaller commitments, understand this. The grand promise is a lure, and their track record is the warning. When they preach about integrity but cut corners when no one is looking, you have your answer. When they speak of loyalty but abandon allies when convenience dictates, their agenda is clear. Your memory is your weapon here. Catalog their inconsistencies. Do not rationalize them away with excuses like they were busy or they meant well. Meaning well is irrelevant. Results and consistent behavior are everything. A powerful technique is to observe how they treat those they perceive as beneath them. The waiter, the cleaner, the assistant, the person who holds no power over them. This is where the mask often slips. Someone who is genuinely respectful and empathetic will treat everyone with dignity. Someone whose kindness is merely a tool for manipulation will often reveal their contempt for others when there's nothing to gain. Watch for the subtle condescension, the dismissive glance, the impatient tone. This is the true face of their character. You can also engineer small tests, not to be malicious, but to gain clarity. Ask for a small favor that's slightly inconvenient for them, but not too burdensome. Observe their reaction. Do they eagerly agree, or do they offer excuses and deflect? Offer them a minor opportunity that has a slight personal cost. Do they seize it with genuine enthusiasm, or do they subtly try to shift the burden? These small insights accumulate, building a comprehensive picture of their true willingness to act, not just speak. Remember, consistency is the hallmark of genuine character. Inconsistency is the signature of a hidden agenda. Denying this is living in fantasy. Identify what they truly want. Power, money, status, information, adoration, control, or security. Understanding their primary drive makes their actions predictable, their agendas transparent. Ask strategic, open-ended questions to probe motivations without confrontation. Instead of direct challenge, ask, "What's your biggest challenge?" or "What's your long-term vision?" Listen for underlying values and consistent themes. Does everything loop back to personal gain, image, control, or avoiding blame? Identify their insecurities and fears. These are levers for hidden agendas. Fear of failure might lead to undermining. Intellectual insecurity might manifest as aggressive assertions or belittling. Observe what makes them defensive, what topics they shut down, what compliments they crave. These vulnerabilities allow you to anticipate their moves. Silence is a potent weapon. When they finish speaking, let the void hang. Discomfort often leads people to over-explain, revealing unfiltered information. Be wary of flattery. Insincere flattery is a manipulative tactic designed to soften you. Differentiate genuine appreciation, specific achievements, from calculated charm, vague, excessive, tied to an agenda. Deny this manipulation staff. Despite its flash, it's still grease, and so too is your enemy. Recognize damage as a strategic weapon. Suffering is a human constant, but how you negotiate it defines your mastery over power. Finally, recognize the blame game. Individuals with hidden agendas rarely take responsibility. They master deflection, projection, and victimhood. Consistent blaming of others for their failures is a psychological defense designed to avoid accountability and continue machinations. This pattern is a strategic shield, not just a flaw. Move beyond passive observation to strategic revelation. Create conditions that force agendas to surface. The provocation test. Gently challenge a minor point or introduce a controversial idea. Their unfiltered reaction, calm engagement or defensive agitation, reveals true insecurity or anger under scrutiny. Agendas crack. Creating a crisis, small scale. Apply minor pressure. Do they adapt, collaborate, and take responsibility? Or panic, blame, and prioritize escape? Crisis reveals character, liability or asset, loyal or self-serving. The information leak. Selectively leak non-critical information. Do they maintain confidentiality, or do they immediately spread or twist it for advantage? Reveals trustworthiness and exploitative tendencies. The false trust play. Share a manufactured secret or appear vulnerable. Do they exploit this perceived weakness, betray your secret, or use it for gossip? This tests loyalty and ethics. Exploiters are not to be trusted. Reading people is a long game. Agendas are deep. Judge not by single interactions, but by cumulative patterns. A manipulator's flaw is consistent inconsistency, predictable self-interest. The power of non-reaction. When you spot their game, deny them satisfaction. Maintain a poker face, no emotional reaction. Your lack of response is a psychological blow, making them doubt effectiveness, keeping you in power. They cannot manipulate what they cannot read. Be unreadable, be untouchable. You have now been armed with the tools to see what others blindly ignore. Reading people is not merely a skill, it is a shield against exploitation, a weapon for dominance, and a compass for navigating the treacherous waters of human interaction. You are no longer a pawn in someone else's game. You are the player who understands the rules, the motives, and the hidden moves. Embrace this brutal truth. Apply these Machiavellian insights. Guard your trust fiercely and give your loyalty only where it is demonstrably earned through consistent, unselfish action. If you understand the weight of this knowledge, if you are ready to wield it, like this video. If you are committed to mastering the art of psychological warfare and rising above the naive masses, subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications, because in this relentless game of power, every lesson, every strategy is a critical step towards your ultimate freedom and your ultimate strength. Stay vigilant, stay ruthless, and become truly untouchable.